Namaste. Hi. I'm about to do my self practice, and I'd like to share with you the first part of it, which is mostly the preparatory components of asana. And although I practice a combination of traditional hatha yoga and contemporary methods, I follow how the energy feels within. So you will observe that the way I move are natural, almost spontaneous, actually, random, and quite effortless. Yeah, if you're gonna be asking me how it feels inside, it's effortless, it's fun, yeah, and it's motivating. Because I don't focus too much on alignment. I focus on the symmetry within, instead of the external alignment. All right, but alignment is important, of course, for safety, especially if you're just beginning with your practice. But as you progress into the deeper stages of your yoga, the external parameters take a back seat, and you focus on the breath and how it feels within. All right, so let's start on our stomach. Yeah, belly on the floor. Let me just angle. Okay, and then here we assume the position of like the reverse Shavasana, the Advasana. The head is down. You might turn the head to the side or on your forehead, depending on how your neck feels. If this is heavy, you may place something there, probably your hands. This is all right as well. So you can breathe through the small gap. I'll use this because I'm using a microphone, so you can hear me while we do the class. All right, and exhale here. Let the tension drain through a light Simhasana breathing. If you're turning the head the other direction, do that as well. And then ease. Draining the day, the heaviness of the hips. Yeah. The Simhasana breathing, when I do it, it's not forceful. It's more of like I wanted to utilize a technique in relaxing my lower extremities, the Simhasana, as I mentioned in the past tutorial. It directly affects the lower region of the body, from the belly to the hips. And it has this way of draining the heaviness, especially if you've been working all day, sitting, walking, your office work. Prone position helps you decompress. Okay, now can you extend your arms forward now and the forehead down, and then folding the knees, and then just let your legs circle around. Right away, this is like Guhyasana. Yeah, there's no name for this. I just call this circles. It feels good doing this one, and circle the other way. We'll just develop this through time of practicing hip openers, and then lifting to side like you're twisting and hanging, and around in circles again, like we're rubbing the joints of the knees, loosening tight spots there, releasing air pockets, clogging those internal centers, and then lifting side to side. Yeah. Your foot may touch the floor behind you already. Feel free to turn that shoulder away from the floor. Feels good, this one. You can also reach forward that same arm as the swinging hip, then around in circles. And then use the tongue, right? Rubbing the tongue around the mouth, exploring the space between the gums and the teeth. And then combine them all. Circles, and then reverse the circle, and then moving side to side, and kicking and twisting. Okay. And then settle with your knees bent. Let the head fall to one side. You can circle your feet around, pointing and flexing your toes. And even the hands there, you can move them into coiling, bending, and twisting angles, motion, and then drop the legs to the other side. Good. And then can we just allow the breath to drain out through a passive Simhasana Pranayama. Beautiful. All right. And then place your hands under your forehead and then circle around, lifting and twisting. We're stretching now the lower back and then awakening the muscles of the core and reverse. Beautiful. Okay, hands are beside the chest and like you're rubbing forward, pubic bone down. And then settle, forehead down, and then shrug and circle your shoulders around. You can lightly peel your wrist off the floor, like this. Stretching your hands. And then like the wings of the butterfly, flipping the elbows as well. Okay, and then some neck releasing there. Exhale, and then we're pressing to the kneel. All right, knees together. And then as you move your hips back, rubbing them side to side, and at the same time, crawl your spine forward already. And then folding the elbows nice and soft. Your fingers might touch there, the forehead down. And then ease. Good. And then perform the Ashvini Mudra, the rhythmic contraction and the relaxation of your pelvic floor. Good. As you breathe normally. Okay. All right, body over the hands now, curling your toes, and then lifting to Adho Mukha Svanasana, and then lifting your legs alternate. So when you do this, throw your leg up and away from the hip joint, and you can also adjust the same hand as the lifting leg, and then give that leg a few kicking up and down, and then the other one, and then by adjusting the hand, you effectively open the upper region. You can also rub the tongue around the mouth, same side as at hip, and the other one as well, and swinging and kicking. Okay. All right. And then the knee, the right knee, or the knee closest to me, crosses through. Good. And then moving from hip to hip. All right. Spontaneous body motions. Yeah. Like, for example, this is the pigeon, and then traditionally we hold this, but when the energy is open within, like you want to go through the creases of the hips and the joints there, and then allowing the breath, to reach those points. And even the way I breathe, if you notice, I breathe the Plavini there, and the tongue rubbing. And then just expressing how I feel the energy move within by utilizing my tongue. And as I breathe to this pocket, it directly connects to that part of the hip. Therefore, releases the tension there. Good. And then swing. Okay. And then here, let the elbows rest. Good. You're able to bend the other knee if this is difficult for you, okay? But when you bend the other knee, I suggest you cross over your front hip like this. Yeah? But if you can't keep the other leg straight, why not? Good. Okay. And then from there, rising up to sitting. Good. And then rolling on your back. And then here, your knees are bent at the 90. Cross your arms behind the head. Under, and then side to side. Your legs, twisting. All right, if you want to synchronize the breathing here, inhale to lift, exhale to drop. Inhale, exhale down. Okay, you can also change the angle. You lengthen your twist away from your hips, not like a diagonal twisting. So like you're moving away from the midline. Right, that's another thing. When the energy is open and then the body is purifying. Like you want to move your extremities away from the center of the body. Yes. Yeah, you have heard this principle. Yeah, move to the midline, draw to the midline. Yes, you, you can do that as well. But yeah, when you are so attached to contracting and squeezing and clenching, yeah, it becomes heavy over time. So move, yeah, your joints out of the way. Yeah, open the arms now and then swing. You know, we call this the anchor swinging legs. Feels good. This one, stretching this spot. Yeah, you can also hold one leg up and then rub that hip around there, kicking and stretching. Yeah. And then tracing the gap between your hamstring, and then there's a hollow spot there where the bone meets the hamstring. I don't know that muscle, but it feels good doing this. Yeah, moving away and then stretching that shoulder as well. And then the other side too. Yeah, as you move that leg close to your hip, moving your muscles away from the inner thigh and the buttock. These muscles, yeah. All right, where the bone meets the hollow space there towards the hamstring. Is that the IT band? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not termed theoretically, but I feel them within. Good. And then rocking up and down like this. And as you do this, move your muscles away from the buttock. Yeah, like you want to stretch. Okay. The principle of rubbing, creating friction, and at the same time moving your joints away from your center. Okay. And rocking up and down. All right. You can rock this one up to sitting if your body is light. All right. And then from there, either you jump back or you just tuck under and roll forward and assume the downward dog. But I'll try to do the press and back. Okay. And then we're back here. Good. And circle around. Like you're just repeating the first spot. Side to side and round. You can combine one circle and one swing, circle away, and then swing and twist. All right, and then side to side. Good. You can also crisscross the legs and massage your feet. Good. And then back to resting Advasana. With the head resting to the side. Good. And breathe. Okay. You can lightly rub forward, onto kneeling. Yeah. The next one is quite advanced, but if you're not doing that one, you can just sit on your child's position with your arms resting by your side, right? Or you can progress that to what we call the dolphin, all right? Forming your double fist there, curling your toes, and then just stay here, releasing, periodically, and then to the child's position, and then do that another 2 or 3 more sets. But I'm practicing my headstand. That's your sasana. Okay. If you're doing the Sasana, you can practice with me. Okay. And in here, the hips are so light, almost too light actually. And in here, as I hold this, I circle the tongue around the mouth. And breathing. And the shoulders are moving away from the back. Yeah. Okay. I feel like
this leg is a bit heavy, and then compress, I'll do this position like the Padmasana. Right. And then there, wow, yes, I felt those clicking joints there, releasing tension. Yeah. And then try to bend at the hip and rubbing the tongue and up, and then leaning over one side like you want to twist there. Okay, and then come back and tangle and then ease. Okay, yeah, that's quite a powerful shoulder work as well. And I swing and I go right away to the kneeling and swinging like this. Yeah, you can lift and then move side to side. You can dance your hips around. Okay, and then swing the bicep. Good. And loosen, arching back and nodding, reaching and swinging. Good. All right, so you can just keep doing this or try to reach one or both at a time to your Ustrasana. Ustrasana is a common component of my practice, the camel pose. You can move forward and up, and then back and loosen. You can rub the head, the neck from ear to ear, shoulder to shoulder, arch back. Good. And then come up, and then you can lift one arm and reach further back, and then the other one. Okay, forward, up and back. Feels good, back bend. And then lifting all the way up. And then hands down into your downward facing dog. Lifting, alternate legs. Especially after back bending. Okay, alternating the legs decompresses your joints there. Okay, now it's the left knee crossing. Right. And then moving the hips just side to side. All right, and then here, a moment. And then mindfully and relaxedly, let the forearms rest on the floor. An asana is not static. Yeah, feel free to move, yeah, to continue and reinforce your opening process. Even the hands there, you can stretch your fingers, your knuckles, and the wrists, and the tongue. Okay, and then coming forward, and now on your back. And then perform the same flow as the first round, swinging and twisting. Good. You can also reach one arm over the head, same arm as the lifting leg, while the other hand catches the foot at the side. Okay, so yeah, you can kick that leg forward and away from the hip. And the other one as well. Okay, rocking, crossing. Right, thighs away from the hamstrings. And stretching the sacral lumbar up to sitting. Good. You can just tuck or press and flow. Okay, you can arch back here. Good. And ease to downward facing dog. And lifting, alternate legs. Okay. Good. Round two. Yeah. Shirsasana. By the way, an alternative to Shirsasana is this. Yeah. The Viparita Karani. Yeah. You can also do this. Yeah. As an alternative to the Shirsasana. Okay? Right. If you want to learn that, I've given a detailed lecture and workshop about the Viparita Karani and even the headstand. Yeah, you may want to have a look at them. And I'll include the links together with this lesson. Okay? But what if I do forearm stand? Yeah, I'll do the forearm stand instead. I haven't done this for a while. Hopefully, I still feel like doing this. Okay. And lifting. Good. Okay. Pushing through the forearms, pulling the core in. There are many variations of this one. You can do like a hollow back. I'll try. Utilizing my tongue inside to open my sacrolumbar spine. As I push, I arch my lower back. All right. And I come back. Good. All right. Arching. Yeah. Swinging. Side to side fast. I like to do this before I do my back bend. Good. Up and over. Okay. Breathing. Good. Back bend should always be a part of our practice. If you're not doing a complex like this, you gotta keep practicing. You can even utilize a prop, yeah, like the bolster. And that's why I love bolster. Good. And then you can sway to side while stretching your spine. You can also angle that bolster wide at the back. But you can stretch and sway there. One side and the other one. Good. Random ones. My practice is quite like that. It's quite moving, flowing, yeah, seemingly restless actually, but feels good with it. Okay, and downward dog after that. All right, good. And we're cross legs sitting forward. We can do one leg at a time and sit, or through and sit. Now lie down, and the leg further away from me crosses, which is the left if you're following this angle, and a mouth twist there. Good. Then from there, this arm reaching over, and then just flip on your stomach. You're gonna still end up with the left knee bent to the side, the flapping fish, and folding that right leg at the back, and circle that leg around, and side to side, and circle. You can also stretch this arm, opening the lateral part of the body. Okay, now from there, same arm as the bent knee, flipping wide. Is the shoulder stretching. You can move the head away. Yeah, coiling in and out of the stretch, and then paving way for the opening of the spot after the forearm stand, the head stand. All right, and then back on your stomach, your head down, and circle around. And perform the twisting again. All right. From there, push away, downward dog. Yeah, and then you're moving to the other side of your practice space, lifting those legs up and down. Okay, and the other one. Good. I feel like doing another round of the headstand because I've done the Padmasana, the first round, so I'll try and do it again. And it's crossing the other leg on top. Okay, yeah, to approach this one, inhale, walk, and then forehead, yeah, the head down. Yeah, inhale, push, and lift. Inhale is the ascent to the headstand. And then exhale, and then just release the whole day out. Okay, when you're doing the headstand, you're not really pressing the head, yeah, as the name suggests. No, you're pushing through the shoulders and the elbows and your fist. Your head is touching, but barely feeling the pressure actually. All right, and then I'll try to bend this leg and cross the other one. Yeah, not really a strict Padmasana in here. It's mostly for me to open the hips and then twisting there as the side of the trunk tends to compress. Rubbing the tongue around the mouth. Feels good. And swallowing. Okay, come back. All right. And downward dog. Alternate your legs. If you feel compressed and then clog in the nose, you can do Kapalbhati. Good. Yeah, crossing through it, sit. And on your back. And then give your legs up and down. And then the other leg crosses for a twist, which is the right crossing now. And then ease. Personally, I'm entering this void already. Like I wanted to do the pranayama and the meditation already. Every time I do that sequence, I feel this sense of energetic openness within, that the breath, it's like dominating my system. Yeah, and just flip over. When I say the breath, it's the organic breathing. Like the breath can flow within so openly. Circle around. Yeah, Kriya Bhatis and Guhyasanas. So I'm expressing that inner sensation to the body, the external body. Still performing the asana, but I approach them differently. It's not static. It's less alignment. And then focus more on the breath and the opening within. All right, this arm opens and then flipping over the shoulder. Move away from the shoulder by walking your hips and then the feet away from the hips. And then you can also do the hand touching at the back. And then ease, like the body weight pours. Okay, and back to the chest. Good. And reaching and stretching, crawling and rubbing and circling and swaying. All right. Pushing through. You can do the upward dog here. You can also bend the knee. I do this. Because inside I feel like the still blockages trapping my hip joints. So I do this to release. All right. Great. And then sit. And stretch forwards. And alternate with your legs. Okay. Cross through. And then sit.
Then we're done with that particular flow. Yeah, I'll continue my practice and do my handstand. Yeah, that's my goal. Yeah, daily 10 repetitions. All right. So I'll continue filming this. Yeah. And then you might want to join that as well. But for now, let's finish. Inhale, arms lift. Open up. Exhale down. Breathing in, lifting, reaching. Exhale, easing down. And one more beautiful breath up. Rise all the way up. Good. And then hands form the seal. And then exhale, hit the chest. Good. Namaste. Namaste. If you're joining my next stage.